If the word audacity didn't mean anything up to this point, it should mean something now. These three individuals, right? The murderers of Ahmaud Arbery, Travis McMichael, William Bryan, and Gregory McMichael. These individuals ran down Ahmaud Arbery like a dog back in 2020 and killed that man in cold blood for committing the audacious crime of walking through the neighborhood. Now, I'm going to play a clip and then we're going to talk about it further on the other side. Without further ado, DJ, spin that shit.
Three Georgia men convicted of chasing down and killing Ahmaud Arbery in 2020 are back in court today asking a judge for a new trial. Attorneys for Greg McMichael's son Travis McMichael and their former neighbor William Bryan are making a range of accusations, including that the jury was tainted, that their counsel was ineffective for one of the men. The McMichaels armed themselves and then chased Arbery down in a pickup truck after they saw him jogging past their house in February 2020. Bryan then joined in that pursuit in his own truck and then recorded cell phone video of Arbery getting killed by shotgun blasts at close range. ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer joins me now for more on this. Brian, walk through these arguments. Why are these men arguing that they deserve a new trial?
Well, Diane, you listened to the arguments already. One there is saying that the jury was tainted. One of the defense attorneys for one of the McMichaels said that after interviewing at least three of the jurors, there's information, they haven't revealed what it is yet, that makes them believe that there was extraneous or external information that these jurors heard that might have biased their decision. They also have ineffective assistance of counsel, but that's specific to William Bryan, where they're saying that the previous law attorney, made the incorrect assessment of telling Bryan to go speak to law enforcement and that some of his words were incriminating. The last one is what we call judicial error. What they're saying is that the judge made the mistake of not allowing the defense attorneys to argue Ahmaud Arbery's previous criminal history, namely that he was arrested twice and his mental health, to suggest that the men were fearful of their life and therefore should have been able to use self-defense as an argument.
Brian, how common is it for a judge to grant a new trial based on the circumstances in this case and the arguments that the defendants are making?
So these arguments, tainted jury, judicial error, ineffective assistance of counsel, are probably the more common arguments that one makes to reverse a case. And I think it's very often that if a case is reversed, it's probably one of these three, especially judicial error. However, there's some weaknesses to some of the arguments that the defense attorneys are making. Namely, for example, that judicial error, not having Ahmaud Arbery's background being used. Well, the men who were convicted of the crime, they didn't know about Ahmaud Arbery's background, the arrest or his mental health. So how are they able to say that they were fearful of this information that they didn't have? So I don't see that being a very strong argument. Ineffective assistance of counsel. While I agree, Bryan should never have spoken to law enforcement, I tell it to all my clients, plead the fifth, ask for an attorney. There was so much other information that they could have convicted Bryan on that I don't think that's going to be the winning argument, especially when ineffective assistance of counsel, you have to prove that what the attorney did wrong was the basis for why the case went the wrong way.
So what happens next in these proceedings?
So the judge is allotted for 2 days for both sides to make their arguments. They're going to argue much of what I just said now, why information should have come in, why it should not have come in, why the judge made a mistake, why the information the jury had may or may not have tainted the ultimate result in this case. And then the judge will take the information in some weeks or months. I know that we kind of have the holidays coming up. Judges typically take their time around this time of year, but they'll ultimately get a decision as to whether or not there should be a new trial. If there is, there would be a new case. If not, then these three men will stay behind bars for the rest of their sentence.
All right, ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer. Thanks, Brian.
You guys got some nerve. So let me get this straight. Let me understand something. You guys want a new trial based on what? You can't make this stuff up, man. You can't make this stuff up. So you were able to get away with this for 2 months. No thanks in part to Jackie Johnson, the former DA who was voted out in 2021. And to this very day, and shouts out to my sister Lisa Cabrera for putting this out, because she did a video about this. You know that Jackie Johnson has not gotten her trial date set yet. She's gotten bail 3 years ago, and she still hasn't got the trial date, and she's still out on bond for her role in the covering up these individuals here when they gunned down Ahmaud Arbery like a dog. So, okay, so I'm gonna read this article here, right? Coming from WTOC in Savannah, Georgia. 3 men convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery in 2020 returned to court Thursday seeking a new trial. Attorneys for the killers, Greg McMichael, his son Travis McMichael, and the former neighbor, William Roddy Bryan, made a range of arguments in hopes of getting a new trial claims, including a tainted jury pool and ineffective counsel. The families, though, said they are not worried that their son's killers will get out. Marcus Arbery, the victim's father, said this: "You've already killed my son once. Why do you have to keep doing it and killing my family? This world has to go forward, and when people get caught up in the wrong, you need to be counted for it. Do you have time? Sit down, shut up." I would remix it this way, right? Don't do the crime if you can't do time. That's right. Rot, bitch. All three of you motherfuckers need to rot. All three of you. Because see, you didn't have to mess with Ahmaud Arbery. This man, Ahmaud Arbery became victimized for being a black man walking down the street. That's what that was all about. A wound that continues to be reopened is how the family of Ahmaud Arbery describes the continued attempt for freedom that has been sought after by 3 men who were convicted of killing Arbery in 2020. No arrests were made in Arbery's killing for more than 2 months until William Bryan's cell phone video leaked online and the GBI took over. So the GBI, Georgia Bureau of Investigations, took over the case from local authorities. So they were really trying to cover this up. The evidence is there. The facts are there. Why keep torturing the family? Seeking a new trial marks a first step by 3 defendants in challenging the murder convictions. Judge Walmsley sentenced both McMichaels to life in prison without the possibility of parole, while William Bryan got the chance of parole, but he still got sentenced to life. Marcus Arbery, the victim's father, says that with each return to court, there's a slap in the face, only because with all the evidence they have for killing my son is nothing, for nothing, just because he was a black man. I just thought it would be over. That's what he said. Now, the victim's family said that they are not worried about the ruling being overturned, but just instead feel anger and hurt continuing to go through this. Bryan's current attorney says that he does not expect a favorable ruling from the trial court, as they've already ruled on many of these things, but he said this motion is still a good move in any case where people are looking at life in prison. Well, guess what? You got to do that time. I mean, what do you think this is? You killed somebody in cold blood, and it was not justified. So you got to do that time. You got to rot in prison forever. So I don't understand why we're sitting up here wasting people's time, wasting taxpayers' money all because you don't like the outcome of the murder trial. But that's just too goddamn bad. That's just too bad. That's just too damn bad. Now, you got to rot. I don't know. What do y'all want, huh? I mean, what do y'all really want? What do you guys really want? I mean, what are we doing here, really? What do you guys really want? You trying to be free? You're not going to get that. Y'all's days of being American citizens in a free society are over. You're done, son. You're done. So what are we talking about, right? You guys are here wasting people's time, wasting people's money. You're wasting taxpayer dollars on some sham court hearing, looking to get some kind of favorable outcome for yourself. Nah, nah. Y'all need to do that time. Y'all need to rot forever. Y'all need to be an afterthought in society. I don't know why y'all keep, trying to reincarnate dead issues and all that, right? So we're gonna read another article come from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and this one gives more detail into the whole justification of a new murder trial, right? So there was a juror who was identified in court as number 380, was questioned about whether he lied during deliberations about harboring no biases against the men who in 2020 chased a running arbor and pickup trucks through the neighborhood before one of them fatally shot the 25-year-old in the street. Attorneys also questioned the juror about a day he brought a hot dog at a rally promoting justice for Arbery near the Glenn County Courthouse when the murder trial was held. The man insisted he took his food and left, and it was unclear whether that happened before or during the trial. So this is the justification of jury bias. This is so-called justification of jury bias. But my question is, how they don't even know these motherfuckers. They don't know nobody on the jury. So how can they sit up here and talk this nonsense about jury bias? These arguments are going to fall flat, and it's going to fall on deaf ears. Regardless, he denied misleading the judge and attorneys about his ability to serve impartially during the jury selection in October 2021. Attorneys for Greg McMichael, his son Travis McMichael, and the former neighbor William Roddy Bryan made their arguments for a new trial before Superior Court Judge Timothy Walmsley. He was the judge who presided for the 2021 murder trial and sentenced each to life in prison. Walmsley did not rule on Thursday. Defense lawyers and prosecutors will have a month or more to file legal briefs summing up their arguments before the judge issues a decision. So guess what? If he sentences them to life, then it's in all likelihood he's going to decline their request for a new trial. If this is the same judge that sentenced them to life, if this is the same judge that was the presiding judge for the murder trial, then you really think that this man's going to have an epiphany all of a sudden? He's going to overturn the murder conviction? This is the classic case of doing shit on the wall and see what sticks. You three individuals armed yourselves with guns and you jumped in the pickup truck while your roadie filmed the whole thing. Travis McMichael's attorney Pete Donaldson told the judge that juror 380 had concealed in his bias in favor of the Arbery family when he was questioned during jury selection. He based the assertion on the interview that the man gave to a private investigator in June 2022. Juror 380 became the only black juror in the murder trial. Okay. Now I see what's going on here. I smell racism. I smell a whole heaping pot of racism going on. So you mean to tell me that of all the jurors that was on that trial, you target the only black juror for your claim for jury bias, right? Okay, yeah, yeah. Y'all, all three of y'all can really go fuck off now. I mean that. All three of y'all can really go stick it where the sun don't shine. If this don't reek with racism, I don't know what is. So you target the only black juror. Juror 380 became the only black juror in the murder trial after the defense attorney struck 8 other black panelists as a final jury was being chosen. The U.S. Supreme Court has held that it's unconstitutional for attorneys to reject potential jurors based solely on race or ethnicity or ethnicity. God dang it. I made it sound like it was authenticity. Jesus Christ. It's ethnicity. Jesus, man. Forgive me. The defense attorneys insisted they had other reasons. What was these other reasons? Why? Huh? Because it smelled like racism to me. I'm just going to keep it 100 with y'all. This thing smelled like racism. You target the only black juror on that case. So how do you explain the other 11 jury members who found him guilty? Make it make sense. Prosecutor Linda Donakowski noted that the juror had told a defense attorney that during jury selection 3 years ago about coming upon a rally supporting Arbery's family. After visiting a hardware store, the juror said that he believed that it was the same rally at which he bought a hot dog. Did you lie to us with any of your answers during jury selection? Donakowski asked juror 380. The man said no. No arrests were made in the Arbery's killing for more than 2 months until Brian's cell phone video leaked online and GBI took over. Arbery's death became part of a broader reckoning on racial injustice in the criminal legal system, along with the police killings of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor in Louisville, Kentucky in subsequent months. And who was president of the United States at that particular time all this was going on? If you said Donald Trump, you are a grand prize winner. And did Donald Trump do anything about the killings of Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor and George Floyd? Huh? Did Trump do anything about any of those killings? No, he did not. No, he did not. And even when the Biden administration took over, did Kristen Clark, did she decide, what's going on with these police departments and what's going on with these racial killings of black folks is unacceptable, and we got to do something about that? Did she do anything about that? Did she try to call herself helping the Ahmaud Arbery family? No, she did not. If anything, she was trying to do backdoor deals in oil fields for the McMichaels. That's what Kristen Clark did. That's what Kristen Clark did. Kristen Clark did not even attempt to lift a finger to help out the family of the Arbery the family of Ahmaud Arbery. She ain't did none of that. And it was only after she got caught, and then even when she got caught trying to concoct some backdoor deals and oil fields at 3 a.m, that she not that she tried to triple and double down and triple down on her stance. Kristen Clark did not give a fuck about the Ahmaud Arbery family. Anyway, defense attorneys argued that during the trial that the armed pursuit was justified because the McMichaels and Bryan suspected Arbery was a thief, and he sought to detain him from police. Travis McMichael testified that he opened fire in self-defense when Arbery attacked with his fist. Police found no evidence that Arbery had stolen anything or committed other crimes in the neighborhood. Greg McMichael's lawyer, Jerry Chappelle, said that he was supporting Donaldson's effort to question the jurors' impartiality. Bryan's lawyer, Rodney Zell, argued that his client's attorney was ineffective, particularly for allowing Bryan to be interviewed twice by the GBI before his arrest. Bryan's voluntary statements was about how he and the McMichaels maneuvered their pickup trucks to cut off Arbery's escape were used against all three defendants during the trial. Seeking a new trial marks the first step by the three defendants in challenging their murder convictions. Walmsley sentenced both these guys to life without parole while giving Bryan a second chance of parole. The three men was also convicted of federal hate crimes by the U.S. District Court after a separate trial in February 2022. The jury concluded that the trio targeted Arbery because he was black. Prosecutor presented the 24 social media posts and text messages, as well as witness testimony that showed all three men used racial slurs or otherwise disparaged black people. The 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals heard arguments in March from attorneys asking the court to overturn the hate crimes verdict. A decision on the federal appeals is still pending. So y'all really trying to use y'all white privilege to get yourselves out of this, right? You ain't going nowhere. You motherfuckers is going to rot in prison forever. Period. I mean, what are we really doing here? So we target the only black juror on the case, and that's your justification for jury bias, right? You're going to target the one black juror on the case. Never mind that the other 11 jurors weren't black and they said you were guilty, but you target the only black guy. Come on now, if this don't reek with racism, I don't know what it is. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. But you guys let me know what y'all think, right? YouTube has me under a shadow ban. YouTube don't like sending out notification for whenever I go live. So if I can get you guys to hit the like button, support the channel, share my content, right? Because again, YouTube got me under a shadow ban because I need to have more people in my chat room talking about this. I'm almost at 5,000 subscribers. I can't even get 10 people in my chat room. That's unacceptable. So you guys let me know what y'all think about that, right? If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. Shouts out to the LDBC. This your man. Scream at me. Ho!